Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is still Monday, June the 13th. An outcast, a traitor, order of the Garter, and the Virginia scandal, where she is now accused of being a perpetrator. Thank you for being here. So Andrew's an outcast and Harry's a traitor. Let's talk about that for a moment. So Andrew is not being allowed to dress for Order of the Garter, which he is a member of. He's allowed to attend the event, has to be dressed in a regular suit, cannot wear any of the ceremonial garb. And Harry is the true traitor of his country. He walked away from Queen and Country for literally, and yet it seems like Andrew is the one being stripped of everything away from the family. Is it because Harry left and Harry's worried about whenever he did come back that he was treated like a sideline royal? Well, look at Andrew. Andrew's still having everything removed and he's not being allowed back in. We still don't know if he's guilty of what he was accused of or not, or if he paid to settle the court case just so that it would go away because it was leading up to the Queen's Jubilee. So maybe he was just did that out of respect, but he hasn't done anything intentionally to hurt the monarch or the rest of the family members like Harry has. He hasn't let an opportunity go by that he doesn't take a pop shot at him to put them down, to disgrace them, to say negative and disparaging things. Wonder why that is. Let's jump up and let's get started. Okay. Sorry, I hope that doesn't make you dizzy. All right, so Prince Andrew wants royal status reinstated and recognized and respected. He wants to be back as Colonel of the Grenadier Guard, says the Telegraph. So it says that he's asked the Queen if he could have these titles back, and that he's been lobbying the monarch for a status as a blood prince to be restored, and also the official duties alongside the other members of the family. He says, I'm still a counselor of state and I should be included at royal and state events. So you guys tell me what you think about that. Should he or should he not? While talks about the Duke's future are very much underway behind the scenes, there's no desire behind the palace walls to return any of the honorary military titles or patronages. And although he has the ear of the Queen visiting her at Windsor several times a week, which we were told earlier it was several times a day, but during the Jubilee, it was announced that he had COVID, and of course he would have to stay away from her. And then I think was headed back over the middle of last week. Wednesday was the first day spotted. So what do you think about the difference between the way Harry and Andrew are being treated? So Prince Andrew blocked from return to the royal duties as Charles and William lobby the Queen. It was said that he was on the original schedule to be there, and only last night they stepped in and asked that he not be able to wear and participate in the ceremony, that he could just be an attendee of the event. The Duke of York again was expected to attend the event as a member of the order. Queen apparently told him to stay out of sight for his own good after Charles and William raised fears of a public backlash. As a result, the Duke 62 is likely to only attend private aspects of the ceremony in Windsor. And all I could see reported was that he did attend them just like any other private citizen that would receive an invitation to go. He was hoping to use the appearance with the royal family as a first step back into royal life, a confidant told the Sun. Telegraph quoted an unnamed source as saying the colonelcy of the Grenadier Guards was the most coveted title and he wants it back, having remained a counselor of state. So this takes us again to the Counselor of State. Harry and Andrew are both listed there. I think if Harry has left and he's now been sidelined, he should definitely be removed as a counselor of state, and I think Andrew should be permanently. The two people I think that should be brought in were the ones they were thinking about, which would have been Edward and also Princess Anne. So those would be the obvious replacements, and I think have always been working for the crown and have shown their respect and done their duty and honored themselves and the way they carried themselves and conducted themselves. So I think that the two of them should be. Hopefully that's the next thing that'll be coming. So Chris Shep just talks about that too, saying that he was supposed to be alongside his family in the procession, but he was asked not to do that. So Tony Blair has been knighted, and protesters were expected to be at Windsor Castle today as he was set to receive his knighthood. A lot of people don't feel that he should have received this. Richard Eden from the Daily Mail said, the sense of entitlement emphasizes why Prince Andrew and his nephew, Prince Harry, should be stripped of their roles as two of the four counselors of state without delay. And I agree. Having remained a counselor of state, he is believed he should be included at those royal and state events, most importantly for him in his status as an HRH. And one of the other commenters said, needs to happen as soon as possible to have them removed. Neither are fit or suited for different reasons. Andrew is a liability, and Harry considers USA his home, has lived there for 2.5 years, and clearly his allegiance is not with the UK monarchy. He'd be looking for ways to make deals with Better Up and Netflix. I agree 100%. Chris Ship just goes on to say the same thing, and then that was just a copy of the program from the Daily Mail showing where Prince Andrew was in there to attend the Order of the Garter today. So it says that Prince Charles, Prince William, as the Queen returns duties tonight, Tony Blair, and then he was allowed to be in the Order of the Guards, and also Duchess Camilla, who is also being allowed in today, and that tops it off at the total number of living people who can be a part of that at the moment. And it is for the most senior British Royal Order of Chivalry. Now we have Virginia Giuffre, who is back in the news with us. Prince Andrew's accuser, Virginia, blamed for touching women without consent. So I had talked about this and made videos saying that she had procured young girls as well. So what she was accusing Jeffrey, Ghislaine, and Andrew of, she actually did herself and would receive a bonus for bringing other young ladies in. Rena O is the young lady bringing the charges and said she was a victim of Virginia and that she was touched without her consent back in 2001 at Jeffrey's Manhattan home. And it says in court filings, O, and that's her last name's representatives claimed, was surprised when she was calling to the massage room to see Epstein, but found Epstein and Virginia. So what Virginia had accused Ghislaine doing, grooming and telling her what to do, this is exactly what Virginia did with this Ho woman and other ladies. And I think she won't be the last to come out. And she is allegedly suing her for $10 million in damages. She said, I was standing there frozen like a deer. I did not move. I was in shock. I felt mortified and uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Virginia's attorney, Kat Thomas, denied all the allegations, noting these allegations against her are not true. Well, that's the way everybody felt about Andrew. I'm still not sure he did anything that was actually illegal. Yes, being with a young girl is not a good look for him, and being in the company and friendship with Jeffrey and Ghislaine's not either. This is Rena O, the young lady who is suing Virginia. Isn't that quite the turn of events now? Because Virginia had all the headlines where she was playing the victim, and that always bothered me. I wish that they hadn't settled. He went to court so we could find out the truth, but now we'll never know. But I think that he was forced by William, Charles, and Her Majesty to settle that case so that it would go away, as it was leading up to the Platinum Jubilee and was overshadowing it by being in the headlines. So let's move on to the Order of the Garter, which was today. Beautiful ceremony and very steeped in tradition. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a moment. At the end, I'll give you some more details. There's Tony Blair again. And there's Prince William. Prince William again. Charles and Camilla. And Camilla again is being put in with the Order of Garter today, initiated in, along with Tony Blair. And in the carriage ride, there's Charles, William, Catherine, and Camilla. It's very nice to see them working together and be able to smile at one another and generally get along and be helpful toward one another. Looks like they've all come toward acceptance with everything that's went on. Now, if only Harry could, because the way the media has put out PR spins and he reads everything about him, it's like he's only read the good things, and they have these people that they're surrounded by that are paid to to tell them that everything they do is wonderful. So he doesn't have that sense of reality. Although I think coming over for the Jubilee gave them a sense of that. It was a real shock. Sophie and Edward, and then Princess Anne and Sir Timothy Lawrence. And then some of the other news, Channel 7 was just talking about the intervention to have Prince Andrew removed last night, just before the service today. And there's Andrew in just a regular suit, speaking to one of the members of the clergy. Another picture of Charles and Camilla, which I think is very nice. And then we have these two guys again. So tell me what you think. Do you think there's equal treatment between them? Do you feel like Andrew is being treated more harshly than Harry is? And is it because they're worried about Harry's mental health or shocking him all at once and they're just trying to do this? But I don't think there's going to be a way for Andrew to come back. I don't think it's wise for him to. I think he needs to remain in the shadows, and I think Harry needs to do the same. Both of them have always been arrogant, entitled, always had everything handed to him on a silver platter. And one thing I will say that's different, though, Andrew is a war hero where Harry is not. He was called Bunker Harry for a reason. So the Order of the Garter, the most noble order of the Garter, is an order of chivalry founded by Edward III in England in 1348. It's the senior order of knighthood in the British honor system, outranked in precedence by the Victoria Cross and George Cross. The Order of the Garter is dedicated to the image and arms of St. George, England's patron saint, and this is the crest. And then it has French on there. They were established in 1348, which is 674 years ago. Their motto in French means, "Shame on him who thinks evil of it." These awarded are at Her Majesty's pleasure. And then the founder again, Edward III, our current sovereign, Elizabeth II. And then there's also different classes of Knight Lady Companion, Royal Knight Lady Companion, Stranger Knight Lady Companion. Appointments are the sovereign's sole discretion and are usually in recognition of a national contribution for public service or personal service to the sovereign. I would say that she's been right by Prince Charles's side. She's undergone the most scrutiny of anyone. And then I would think the Duchess of York, the Duchess of Cambridge certainly did way more than the Duchess of Sussex. So she's being awarded this honorary act of chivalry because of her devoted service. She's never explained, never complained, never been caught putting a foot wrong, and has done her duty, kept her head down, and faced all the backlash quietly and with humility. There's also the chain necklaces, Order of St. Patrick, Order of St. Michael and St. George, and Order of the Thistle. This is the symbol that is embroidered into the beautiful blue robes that they wear as part of the ceremony. So tell me what you think about Andrew wanting to come back and be part of the family. I don't think it's going to be allowed, but I want to know what you think and whether or not you think it should be. Are they being harder on Andrew than they are Harry? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you'll like and share. And thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Everyone have an outstanding day.